Level of connection with the titular men's bathroom fixture. Still not sure why, however, anyone would want their chosen hot beverage to be associated with where men go to relieve themselves. And lest you think that the name is simply a lost in translation error, the branding on the box reads, urinal hot drink, wasted and broke. This ramen noodle soup product really gets to the heart of its prime demographic. For many people, subsiding on ramen was a part of the very fabric of the college dorm experience. Typically, this period represents the height of one's wasted and broke existence. While we're not sure that those purchasing the product are necessarily looking for an all-too-true reminder of their present status, this company's marketing department certainly understands who it is targeting and has found a very eye-catching way to reach them. Semen dip. While most of the products on this list come from brands that is knowingly aware of the provocative nature of its name, this turkey-based spicy garlic spread's name seems to be a legitimate case of lost in translation. In Turkish, semen, despite having a very different English definition, is actually the term for a dip made from tomato paste. That being said, it's still difficult not to give at least some pause before dipping your pita into a jar of fresh semen dip. Thankfully, only their Tatsiki brand dip is white. Pedo. In case you were impressed, offering a level of accuracy to their cheeky name. It's tough to imagine this product name getting onto store shelves anywhere other than the Down Under, where Aussies are known to never take anything too seriously. The name seems to be working too, as the Ingram's produced snack is hugely popular throughout the country. After all, we've all had a case of the breast munchies at one time or another. Wink. Pea Cola. Next time you're in Ghana, be sure to unwind with a cool, refreshing bottle of Pea Cola. This unfortunately named but extremely popular beverage actually translates to mean very good cola, but that's certainly not the first impression that most English-speaking visitors get. As with the urinal hot drink, pea is probably not the first word that you want to associate with anything in liquid form that you are likely to drink down, but clearly local Ghanaian citizens don't seem to mind. Mega Pussy Justice.
Okay, globalization and branding. One brand name, the very same one is going to be everywhere, like Coca-Cola, all right? You can adapt and modify because it doesn't sound the same, or it's very like, maybe the spelling is too hard in the other language. You can do like a translation, or you want to totally change the name. This is another option, okay, to get like a totally different name. So for instance, for Mr. Clean, modifications, okay? Instead of saying Mr. Clean, in Spain we call it Don Limpio, which is like a modification. It's a literary translation of Mr. Clean, Don Limpio, okay? I wouldn't think that it's a totally different brand. It's a modification, a translation in that case. Okay. As well, where they change, like the example of Lays, that's the one that changes the name, like modify it all over. You can have me as Margarita in South America, or called Chipsy, I think, Chipsy in Brazil, Sabritas in Mexico, Lays, that's the name here in the US, right? But I heard of Walkers in the UK. So yeah, South Africa, I think it's called Smith, all for the very same type of chips, okay? We're talking about Lays. So the product formulation is one part of the important part of it, of the packaging. So for instance, why? Legally it might differ. Some laws in certain countries allow some type of packaging, or they do not allow some others. For instance?
For example, like for like some countries, like for the candy bars, like they were stating, some
Yes.
don't allow it in big packaging.
Yeah.
They only allow it in small packaging, whereas in the United States, it's like
Yeah, go to Costco. We were talking about that last week. Remember when we were saying like, I don't know if it was in this class, but about like the big packages of Costco, and then people put that in small bags.
Yeah.
And sometimes they sell the small bags.
We discussed it here.
It was here.
Talk about kids.
And about the
Black
kid,
market hot chips.
correct, and then very good. So laws and regulations, and as well traditions, right? So US, you are like used to have like big sizes.
Yeah.
Everything is big, packaging is going to be different. And even if we want that in Europe, it's going to be like almost impossible because apartments are so much smaller. You like the fridge, okay, when you go, it's smaller.
Ice.
You don't
You're
have.
not gonna get ice in anything you drink outside of the U.S.
Say that again?
Ice.
Yeah.
You don't put it in the glass anywhere outside of the U.S. Like, you go to these other countries and they give you like 4 ice cubes for a tall water.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's 90 degrees outside and you're like, dude, seriously. You have electricity. I know there's an ice machine back there. Give me some ice.
Okay, so and 3 types of packaging. Please, can you name them?
Primary packaging, secondary packaging, and tertiary.
Packaging. So that would be in the containers, like the big boxes. Primary is like I see the example here on the peel. That would be the primary. If we go into the second, that would be the little box, yeah, and maybe the tertiary if when it goes on the containers, shipping related to
Industrial. Right?
Very good. Yeah, totally. So different levels. So it's going to be as well. How do you transport it as well? And that might affect the price as well. So talking about price.
The only element in marketing mix is that it generates revenue, serves as a means of attracting, communicating an offer to the potential buyer, a competitive tool for dealing with rivals and substitutes, used to position the product or service in the market. Pricing problems are technically identical in the domestic and international market, but vary according to the degree of foreign involvement.
Okay. Depending on your level of internationalization, the level of risk that your company is getting there. Okay, sometimes I'm exporting this product, so I don't think there is a need to change the price or to change the name. And all of that, those changes of name, those changes of packaging are increasing my costs, right? So maybe are decreasing my profitability. So if my involvement is just something sporadically or I'm starting, I'm not going to take that into account. And therefore, maybe my price can be a bit lower. Okay, if my level of commitment is higher and I'm going to really consider that market of segmentation of the market, I'm going to target marketing and the positioning, I'm going to get there, then I'm going to take into account everything that we were saying. The packaging, the distribution costs as well, the transportation costs. Okay, legal issues that we might encounter as well for shipping or this is going to add on my price, and prices as well really related to the positioning. Okay, depending on the value or how strong my company is when entering into a new market. My position can change and can vary. Okay, having the same product, if I add a lot of value and I create that value and people believe that and they have that perception created, then my positioning can be higher and my price can be higher as well. I can get more profit, right? Okay. Who's doing legal restrictions? Okay, we're going to talk about legal restrictions. So just check one example. Cars, automobile manufacturers, right? So here in America, we don't have problems of space, big highways in general terms, no problem of that. So smaller cars are not so well sold as in Europe, where we need small cars, okay, or Japan or other places. So that's why they are selling those prices below actually the cost, okay. Another example of legal restrictions and I don't know if I'm gonna call legal, but it's related as well to the political system, like olive oils. So the European community and Western European countries, we have a subsidy from the European community. Okay, so we have subsidy for the farmers. So the farmers can actually, because of the subsidy, they get the price of the olives at the end for the consumer is cheaper because they have some subsidies. Okay, and right now with Trump, he's cutting that. He's not allowing those low price because it's against the American laws. We have been doing that like for more than 2 decades, but now it's like a legal restriction related, okay, to exporting olive oils, for instance, from Spain or Italy. So now we cannot meet the price that we are having. Cut price is lower than the olive oils in America because we have subsidies from a European community. So now Trump administration is cutting that up. It's affecting as well our price, okay? Even if we want to sell at a price, the government does not allow us.
Yeah, but he's gonna subsidize coal.
Coal.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What's her name? Elizabeth Warren or whatever. Yeah, her nickname around Washington is Pocahontas. Oh my god. And it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. He said it's supposed to be like.
Okay, so for module 4, we are going to go over the price, all right? So you have different price strategies, and we were taking into account that here we have legal restrictions, that the one we were talking about, that dumping, about you cannot sell below the marketplace in that country when you are going international. Okay, we got to take as well into account that the new transportation costs. So if we are like outsourcing, we are outsourcing the production, part of the production, the design is here, the design is there, to assemble all of that, it includes as well transportation. And when I talk about transportation and distribution cost, we gotta take as well into account the price of the renting of the warehouses, all right? And as well, later on, the competition, and if we are going to be able to go on discounting. America, USA is like one of the, it's very popular to get like on sales, not so much as in other countries. Okay, so next week we will go over place and distribution strategies as well.